What's going on, guys? In this video we are going to see a program to find a factorial of a number. Now let's see how to do that. First I'm going to introduce some integer type of variable. Let's say integer I. This is for looping, and also the user is going to decide what factorial he's going to get. For example, if the user put 5, it's going to give the factorial of 5. So we are going to let the user decide what's going to he find. So we put n for that. N is going to be the user's input, and then I initialize factorial with 1. Okay, fact is equal to 1. Okay, let's give a prompt to the user. In the prompt we are going to ask the user to enter the value. So I put enter value of n, and the user is going to enter a value. To get the input from the user, we use a scanf statement. Since the user is going to enter an integer type of variable %d, and whatever the value the user enter, we are going to store in n. To store in n, we put a number n right here. Okay, now according to the user's input, the loop has to run that many times, because it's going to be multiplication. Like if the factorial is 5, it should multiply 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So it has to go like according to the user's input. To do that, we are going to create a for loop. I put a for loop and I initialize that one with 1, and the condition is going to be less than or equal to n. N is the user's input. Less than or equal to n, it's going to run according to the user's input. And then to do the increment, I put I++ right here, and the equation for the factorial is going to be factorial is equal to fact times 1. I mean fact times I, because as the I value increase, it's going to multiply this one by that many times. So it will turn into factorial. For example, if the user input 5, first it's going to multiply that one with 1, then multiply with that one with 2, 3, 4, and it will give the factorial value. Okay, let's that's it for this one. And then finally we are going to print the we are going to display the factorial value. So we put a printf statement. In this printf statement we put factorial is since the factorial is going to be integer type, %d for that, and the factorial value should be coming from fact. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and run this one. Enter value of n. Okay, enter the value of n. Let's put 5. So you can see factorial is 5 is 120. To see it clearly, for example, if I put 3 times 2 times 1, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 1, it should be 6. Let's put 3, it's 6. So you can do for any number, and you can do the same thing using while loop. To do the while loop, what you have to do is, instead of initializing I right here, you have to initialize I outside. Let's see how to do that. Here first let's look at this one. Here we have initialization and the condition and the increment. Okay, now for the while loop we do the same thing, but little bit differently. For the initialization, okay, it's loading, let me wait. Okay, I get rid of this for loop, and you can achieve the same thing with while loop. I initialize I with 1 like this. Okay, for the for loop we put it inside, for while loop we put it outside like this, and in the while we set the condition. In the while we set the condition I is less than or equal to n. The same thing we did in for loop. Like that we set that one in while loop. And the increment, we also do the increment in the for loop. We do the same thing inside of this. After this equation we can do the increment I++. And now if you run this one, it's going to do the same thing as the for loop. Now let's go and run this one. 5, we have seen that factorial 5 is 120. Let's see whether we get the same thing. 120. And factorial of 3 is 6. 3 is 6. And let's try some different number. Like for example, if you put factorial of 7, it's going to calculate 5040. So you can do the same thing with while loop and for loop. I hope you guys find this video helpful. Thanks for watching. And if you are trying to learn C or C++ programming, there are a bunch of videos in my playlist. I hope you guys watch that too. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.